Hey everyone, episode 156. Yeah, 156. This is me and Alex, aka Johnny Rifleman. Had him in the studio the other night, and yeah, we went in fresh, no notes, no nothing, and ended up doing like 4 hours. And as someone who's come onto the podcast a bunch of times, even from back in like 2017, I think it was the first time it was just him and I that had sat down and had a chat. It was it was really interesting. Touched on being a Greek in Melbourne, touched on the state of media, superhero movies, comedians. Yeah, I don't remember what the whole thing was. Anyway, have fun. Don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe. If you're listening and you're constantly tuning in, don't need you to buy us a coffee. Just, share us on your socials and tell someone who already doesn't like you about us.
There are improvement works ahead, so this train will terminate at the next station.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
Take me outside. How about that?
Are you Muslim?
He should have been slapped as a child. He's a spoiled little Greek brat who's probably been treated like a prince.
Is that just what the word means? Tigani and psomi. So you're toasting a piece of bread in a pan. Is that what it is? I don't know. Well, maybe it depends. Like it's a Greek-French toast kind of thing.
Tiganopsomo is literally like wok damper. It's like a dough made just in your house, in like a lekani thing with yeast and stuff, flour, and then you just literally turn it into like thick tortillas, like that Afghan bread. I can't remember what it's called.
What, naan?
Sort of like naan.
Yeah.
It's Greek. It's crustier.
Okay.
And you put like mizithra, kaseri.
Oh, nice.
Tomato. Like, it's good. It's probably my favorite thing to eat, like homemade, that I don't actually make for myself.
From the Chorior.
Yeah, and I asked her how much. She said that tavernas in Greece are actually making them. Anyway, she's made like a full lekani worth of this shit, like fucking stack of like bread.
Yeah. She's
buttered, nafasa. I go, how many am I going to fucking eat, man? She goes, well, you'll eat them. I go, it's a stack of bread. And then she goes, well, take this. And she gave me like a Tupperware full of cake, like she'd made. I go, man, I'm still trying to get through the cake you gave me the last time I saw it, which was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I go, are you serious? What do you mean? You have one every day in the morning with your coffee? I'm like,
that's it, mate.
I go, and I said to her, I go, do the words Zacharo, PSC, none of this means anything to you? She says, she goes, what, at your age? Like, I'm 38.
What, you're worried about what? Diabetes?
No, but like, you can't just eat
high carb.
Carbs,
Yeah.
like a stack of carbs
Yeah.
for dinner, and just have it in your fridge to snack on. I'm like, what are you out of your mind? And that's what she said. She said, at your age. I'm like, yeah. How old were you when you started watching all that sort of shit? She said, 2 years ago. I'm like, fuck off. I was in her 70s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually register in her head that I'm not like 8 years old and I'm just like a vacuum for food.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm the same, man. Mum's, mate. It's a great. It must be a Greek mum thing. And whenever you go and visit or whatever, you always end up taking Tupperware with you.
Yeah, but they fight over it. Like, she was cracking it. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
Do you not understand that I physically can't eat this shit?
It's like when they fight to who's going to pay the bill. Getting to full punch-ons on who's going to pay the bill.
Who was I saying that to? I was explaining that situation to someone. I said, dude, Greeks are the worst.
Greeks are like that. Persians as well.
Yeah.
They're pretty bad.
But they're the same. Like,
same, yeah.
I said it to some heads on Sunday when we were in here. I said, culturally, Turks and Serbs are probably the closest to Greeks. Persians, now that I think about it too. Because they've all been in the same melting pot for the last 4,000 years.
Yeah, that whole region, yeah, for sure.
What do you think it is that they brawl about? No, I'm picturing like the olds, like when we used to go to the tavernas and it'd get to 11:30, everyone's wrecked, half of them are smashed. You know what I mean? Like they've had enough of the night, they want to get out of there, And for the last 40 minutes, it's like they're jingling the car keys, like, you know what I mean? Like, wrap it up. But then when the bill comes and they all start fighting and they're willing to stand there and argue over the bill, is it pride?
Of course it is.
It's not Kalosini, yeah? It's not like... Is it? Like
Filotimo kind of...
Yeah, is it because they want to shout someone...
Yeah, I think, look, it's probably that, a combination of that, but also pride. I reckon it's more so pride. Fucking sit yourself down. Ooh. You're not gonna pay for me. You son of a bitch.
You're not going to buy me a coffee. You're not going to buy me dinner. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's the same thing when people come to when you go to someone's house and you know, like they're offering you food, and if you say no, man, it's insulting. It's insulting to them. But literally, I can't. I can't eat. I don't want to eat. Okay, and then you see the mood changes on their face. They're cut, you know, they get pissed. Whatever. It's good. Look, man, I appreciate it. You know, I think our culture's, it's great. It's better than having no culture, put it that way.
Do you know what I remember? I remember being a kid and going to like family friends' houses and shit that we never saw after a certain point.
Yes.
And I understand it now as an adult because there's plenty of people that I don't see. Like I haven't, like they're specific to a certain part of my life. And then it's like, incommunicado, like for whatever reason.
Yeah.
As a kid, it didn't make sense because you used to hang out with these kids every like couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
All of a sudden, it's like, well, we don't go there anymore, right?
Yeah.
But do you remember the houses in the 80s, like the late 80s, early 90s? The people's houses that you always went to were always dark.
Okay.
I feel like they were always dark.
Explain.
And they always had the second saloni as well.
Okay.
Did you have two saloni, like two living rooms?
Well, my did. I remember that. And most old log houses,
they did.
They all had the second salon, which was for the guests. But we were never the guests.
I'll never forget going to someone's house. It was the middle of the day. I can't tell you who the woman was. I don't think I ever saw her ever again. I think it's just the one time I ever saw her, like an acquaintance of an acquaintance of an acquaintance. It was my mum and my sister.
Yeah.
And we walked into the front door, and the woman was like, "Berasta," you know, I come through, and Mum's like, "Okay," and she goes, "Oh, which way do we go?" And she sort of motioned left, and the woman was like, "No, from here," and led us into like the kitchen, TV, salon, hybrid area.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and I just like curiosity, like I sort of stuck my head to the left as we went. And it was like a whole fucking salon in there.
Yeah, man. That was always the case. Man, my yaya's house, I remember. My yampapu in their house, both have passed away, God rest their souls. But their place in Donny, you know, it was the classic 2-story, you know, wog
double brick veneer.
Just the class. It was a classic. You straight from the get go.
Did they have the lines?
They didn't have lines. They didn't have lines. They just had like two, like what do you call it? Like two round. They look like, you know, two chess pieces.
Oh yeah, on the
pawns.
front.
Yeah, two white pawns. And so yeah, we went, you know, with the 3-car garage, whatever. You walk up the steps, and then. I loved it, man. I loved going and visiting because I knew my yaya was always so happy to see us. We'd ring the doorbell and she'd rock up, oh yeah, you know, hugs, kisses, this and that. And then we'd always go towards the right because on the left you had the saloni, and the saloni was untouched. Literally, it had like two, like a what do you call them? You know, like a partition door thing.
Was it that orange brown color?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you pull it out, and then the whole thing was just like, literally like a museum. you had couches and everything with plastic all over them. And then you had, like, there was a cabinet with, like,
Crystalware.
Like, crystalware.
Ta cristala, man.
Ta cristala.
Yeah.
What, can you tell me what is the purpose of the cristala? Does that ever get touched?
No. When I was in Greece in 2009, I was there for Christmas. Shit, Christmas. It was like literally, like, you know, 12 years ago, whatever it was. 13. I was staying with my auntie who was born in Greece, raised in Melbourne. So she went back to Greece when she was like 25 or something. So she was essentially like a Melburnian wog. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wasn't like old, you know, she was in her 50s, I think, then, right? She's younger than my dad. And I remember we did Christmas at her house and I helped her sort of clean up a bit and whatever. And then after Christmas, she's like, oh, I can't remember if she said it. I know she said it right before people started turning up. She's oh, fuck. I didn't clean that fucking display cabinet at the end of the thing. I go, what display cabinet? She goes, the one there with the crystala. I'm like, what do you need to clean it for? She says, it's covered in dust like the actual layers. I go, when was the last time you used it? She goes, I don't know. I don't. I go, who gives a shit? She goes, your grandmother's going to lose her shit when she sees it. Like she'll turn her nose up.
Oh, no.
I've never seen those crystals ever be used.
No,
because they're for good company.
Yeah, man.
You never qualified as good company.
I don't think I ever saw this, but you know, this mythical good company. You know, I remember even in did you have this or your grandparents where you had the pantry and it was this big pantry and then at the bottom level was a whole bunch of alcohol.
Oh, yeah, the bottles, yeah.
G.O.A.T.S and some like Foster's beer from like 1975 that had never been opened. And then I remember one day, can we drink that beer? No, that's for the guests. The guests that haven't rocked up for 30 years.
We had in the kitchen, I'm remembering, I mean, you saw the house I grew up in. Yeah, but you never saw it before the renos. So before the renos, that kitchen was like a classic Victorian kitchen, like tiny. I still can picture it, like walking in from my room from the hallway. Directly to the right, there was like a big cabinet with crystalware and piata and shit. I don't think piata were even there. I think it was all just crystalware.
Right.
Like the shit that you use, like scotch tumblers and shit like that.
Yeah.
The bottom shelf with the doors had scotch and like all spirits.
Yep.
That I never... Like, my dad didn't drink, so it never got touched. Outside of when my nono or something would come over.
Yeah.
And then there was, like, verikoka, sika, like all dried xerus karpus, like dried fruit.
Yeah, nice.
Nuts. Every time. It was always, like, my nono,
Yeah.
like, staunch cunts that would come over.
Yeah.
It'd be like, all right, action stations. Me and my sister would get up. One of us would grab the bowl, the fistica, the scotch tumbler, the ice. Another one would grab like a trapezo madilo for the living room coffee table, and we'd be in there and like laying out like it was standard.
Yeah.
Sake, like this is when you could smoke indoors as well.
Man. Yeah, the crystal ashtrays.
People smoked indoors.
Yeah, man.
And I'm just picturing my sisters in the north sitting there like punching darts and eating and drinking like Johnny Red Label fucking scotch in the living room till God knows what time.
They used to fucking smoke like while they were eating dinner. And then butt out the cigarettes on the fucking plate. That's fucked. I never saw my parents or grandparents do that, but there were wogs that did that.
Yeah, my parents didn't smoke. This is the thing that gets me now, all right? Like, my old man was my age now when I was like 8 years old, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to picture me at 8 years old, 10 years old, and he's my age, like what I know now.
Yeah.
I'm a child. Like, I'm wearing a jumper that I make. I'm in trackies and runners. You know what I mean? Hanging out in Oakley. It's like, I think about, and I assume my nono, like my sister's nono, at that age, he was probably a few years older than my dad. But like still in the same, like, you know, same gen.
Yeah.
So these men were in their mid-40s. And I'm looking at them like they were here, like people out of the Godfather movies.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like that level of staunchness.
Yeah.
I don't think any child would ever look at me the way I used to look at like my olds. Like as in my uncles and...
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's an interesting question. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they do look at us and, you know, revere us in a certain way.
Nah.
No?
No.
You don't think so?
No. No chance. Like I know that if I go to a barbecue or something like with family or whatever family's left or even just anyone with kids, they're not... Like, dude, we were scared, man. Like, you were scared to, like, look them in the eye. And if they, like, acknowledged you and gave you praise or some shit, it felt like you were, like, it was like praise from Caesar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like, my nono would ask me about, like, karate or, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, whatever. And, like, yeah, bravo. You know, like, they pat you on the head. And it was literally like you were being knighted.
Yeah.
I know people's kids that, like, give me shit.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to listen to you.
That's interesting, isn't it?
No, but what does it take can you even get that level of respect anymore? I don't think becoming a parent is enough.
I don't know, man.
Because you automatically used to just respect anyone that was that age.
That's interesting. That's kind of like a reflection of It's probably just a reflection of the culture, man. You know, I mean, actually, this was coming up in conversation a couple of days ago. Actually, I can't remember who I was having this conversation with, but we were talking about this whole thing about exactly that, whether the youth still respect, you know, the older generation, and
okay, but we are the older generation.
But
now.
this is I remember what I said. So this is my theory. I have a theory about this. So you can point the finger in many places, but one plausible reason, I think, is the progress of technology, the proliferation of technology. So we grew up pre-internet, right?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We grew up pre-internet.
Yeah. Internet in mainstream hit when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we grew up at a time when we didn't grow up in that, you know, the information age where you were literally at the click of a finger, at the first germination of a thought, you can just go bang onto your phone and ask Google, and it'll give you the answer. We didn't have that.
Wait, hang on. Our formative years didn't have that. Our late teens did.
Yeah. I'm talking about
Actually, but not even to that.
No, not to this degree. Not to this degree.
When do you reckon we started Googling shit like on the fly?
I don't know. Not long, but within the 10
years?
10 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, well, what are we now? 2022, so 2012.
Yeah, around then.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
2012 was the start of the whole Hey Google era.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be able to quote it, but yeah.
Isn't it interesting? It's like the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, the Iron Age, the Google Age.
Man, honestly, I reckon it is. I reckon it's that freaking significant. Because,
okay,
so going back.
Going with your point.
So we didn't have this freaking ocean of access to information. Where did we get our information from? Where did we get our knowledge from? We got it from our olds.
Yeah,
we got it from
the World Book.
Right? The encyclopedia, right? But like, we got it from our olds. They're the ones that passed down that knowledge. And so now, kids don't have to go to their parents and go, "Hey, Mum, what's the deal with this?" They're not asking those questions anymore. They're just going straight to Google and getting an answer from fucking the algorithm. So they don't have the same level of respect, I think, and reverence for the older generation because they don't think that the older generation has anything to pass on.
The older generation doesn't have answers.
Yeah, they're going, well, what kind of wisdom? There's what's happened is there's been an what do you call it? I don't know what the word is, but there's been a kind of almost like a discarding of
a shift
and an inability to recognize what's important or what's valuable or like wisdom. You know what I mean? Like, you would go to your parents or your grandparents because they had things to offer you. They had knowledge, they had wisdom, they had life lessons. I don't think kids are asking their olds about those things anymore. They're just too caught up in technology and in fucking social media and fucking all this shit. I reckon, yeah. I don't know. That was kind of like my theory that I came up with, and I thought it was pretty good.
So, no, hey, you're hitting some interesting points. So you think that the reverence of wisdom from an elder is inherently being glossed over or passed on because it's not needed anymore as the younger generation become more self-reliant on finding shit out for themselves via Google.
Yes.
The only problem is that Google brings up the algorithm as opposed to bringing up war stories.
Exactly. So not only exactly. So that there's a glossing over of well, I don't need this information anymore. I can get it somewhere else. So I don't need to get it from my parents or whatever. I can get it from the internet. And at the same token, not understanding because they're not getting those that relationship isn't being fostered. They're not what's the word? They're not recognizing what's valuable. They're not recognizing what That's why some would argue that we've kind of lost our way a bit in this modern world. You know what I mean? Like shit. You jump on social media and it's. I don't know.
I've got a problem with people self-educating via social media, right? Because it's crap. 90% of the stuff out there is crap.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, I'm the first person to say that I like the fact that we can just Google something and get an actual answer as opposed to whatever Buddhist that our old fart parents or grandparents want to put down our throats.
Well, that's the other thing too.
I'm thinking of so many fables and bullshit myths.
It goes both ways.
Yeah. And just literally just fables that the olds tried to get me to believe because they didn't know any different.
Right.
And now it's just like Google. You're fucking wrong, bro.
Yeah.
You've spent 30 years, 40, 60 years believing this shit. You're wrong.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about philosophical or sociological opinion. We're talking about like an actual fact.
Yeah.
Like fact.
Well, that's it. But it was it's that. It's that, but it's also the process of the actual act of having an older generation being able to impart, knowledge or whatever it is to the younger generation. There's stuff, if that's becoming redundant now, you're probably witnessing, that's probably part of the reason why maybe, a lot of people feel like, a bit like what's my purpose or whatever. Or, there's you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but see, this is the thing, all right? Okay, hang on.
Like we're bringing this back to this whole thing about the youth respecting the elders, and this was the point that I was trying to connect. That I think because of technology, it's aided in this thing of
devaluing.
Yeah, of the young generation not valuing what the older generation has to offer.
The problem is that 98% of the people out there shouldn't be followed or listened to. Most people are idiots. I'm the first person to admit I'm stupid.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So imagine the amount
But there is something to say about, just...
I love how you put your jacket on because you were cold. Now you're taking shit off.
Yeah, I'm warming up.
Man, you know what it is? It's your Greek blood.
Yeah.
Just starting to circulate.
Yeah, it is.
It's just contra, eh? Contra all you need is...
Exactly. Now I can't remember what I was saying.
No.
But it's this. There is something. No matter, look, you don't have to have your fucking papu or your dad or whoever. It doesn't have to be Einstein to be able to sit you down and say, "Hey, son, this is what I learned in life." There's something valuable about that. There's something meaningful about that. Aside from the surface level information that's being passed on, there's something else that's happening there. It's a son bonding with his father, or a younger person, bonding with an older person, and the value that brings.
Hang on, man. I don't disagree with that, right? But this is what I disagree with. Let's take our generation, right? Our parents and grandparents, and then go to their grandparents and parents and grandparents,
yes.
right? So we're essentially going back 4 or 5 generations.
Okay.
How much did it change? Say from people born in 1984 to people born in 1924.
It changed.
It changed.
It changed
right?
a lot, yeah.
But social structure didn't really change, right? Other than like civil rights and shit hitting Western world and all that sort of stuff. The whole thing of getting up 9 to 5, working, marriage, kids, saving a couple $1,000s to buy a house, all that shit was essentially the same. For us, born right before the start of the digital world, started taking over,
yeah.
Social needs, skill sets, morals, mentality, values, all that had to start shifting and shifting fast. Otherwise, we were going to get left behind. We need to get a job. Like, let's say if you and I did 9 to 5s, right? For us to get a job, we can't just, back in the day, dude, back in the 90s, if a teenage son came out of uni or whatever, or out of high school and needed a job, the old man would be like, You got to hit the pavement, get out there in the morning and put yourself out there. Now, there's no more hitting the pavement.
Yeah.
You got to get a fucking resume together and get online and start hitting up seek.com.au and firing off 100 resumes an hour to get your foot in the door.
Yeah, that's right.
What's my old man going to talk about? Like, I remember, I remember being like in my early 20s and my old man said to me, can you help me put together a resume? I said, what for? Like, what for? He goes, they were putting him up for some managerial position, right, where he was working. And they said they just want to see something in writing as a formality. Nothing more, just formality of a bit of like a skill set. I said, fucking, all right, sure. Right, so first time in his life, the man was like in his 50s or whatever, I'm putting together a resume for the guy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm asking him, where'd you do your schooling? He said, oh, somewhere. Like, he started school somewhere here and there, whatever, Paran Tech or whatever the fuck it was. I said, okay, did you finish anything? He's like, nah. Okay, where'd you do your apprenticeship as a butcher? He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, you're a butcher. Where'd you do your fucking trade? Like, where'd you get your apprenticeship? Did you finish? He goes, nah. Because you just went to every shop you were working in and they taught you. That was your apprenticeship.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's nothing in writing. And I'm like, what am I meant to put in? As far as education and skill, like, you know, technical thing. So then I go, you got any references? He goes, what do you mean? I go, someone is going to say something nice about you at some point. He's like, nah. He's like, yeah, I'll find some people. I'm like, okay, cool. So he gave me a couple names. And then it's just like, started taking his duties down, his skill set, like all that sort of shit. First time he'd ever had a resume ever written for him. Now it's like, you can't get it. You don't get a call. You don't get a look in if you don't have a resume that looks a specific way. And what do you put in it? Fuck knows. You got to do courses to figure out what to put on a resume to get a foot in the door to even get looked at for a fucking job.
It's fucking nuts.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, well, now, I mean, look at me and you. We're like approaching 40, right? Compare our lives to our parents. We're nowhere near what they were doing, but we've achieved so much more in other areas that they never would have even thought possible.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, well, what wisdom is the dude born in 1939 going to impart on a kid in 2022?
True. That's true.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's relative.
It's relative, man.
Yeah, it's relative.
And now, like you said, kids are more eager to jump on Google and just like Google some shit.
Yeah.
I agree. The algorithm is going to spit out some biased information for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those world books can be found somewhere else where it's less biased. Like, you know, Wikipedia, which does its best to stay, you know, centrist.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
If we need further education on finding the right information online, I totally agree.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea that older generations are only going to impart knowledge and wisdom.
No.
Because at the same time, it's filled with fucking rhetoric, man. And it's filled with xenophobia, homophobia, racism.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, of course. Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But then
I think it's more, that's a good point. And I would say to add a caveat to that.
Sevra Samalaka.
Touche. To add a caveat to that.
All right.
You know, it's all right. Have a laugh. Enjoy.
Touche. Okay, go.
I would say it's a bit of a double-edged sword in a way, because what's happening is that to your point, the information. Let's say the information.
Do you know what you've just done? You've just done as pertaining to my previous email. I love seeing those.
So to your point, that the information, let's say that you know some older gen is passing on to the younger gen may be skewed or bogus, or, you know, or in some way. It's let's say it's not accurate or whatever, right? So yes, all right. Let's say it's not accurate. However, the very act of this younger person going to the older person and wanting to hear from them and wanting to hear and take away what it is that they want to say, or what it is, wanting to get their opinion. That the very act of doing that is being lost, you know, and I think that there's something valuable in that.
In the actual act of wisdom being parted on
Yeah.
and shared or whatever. Yeah, look, that's as old as time. Yeah? But then you ask the overarching question of why are we here?
Fuck, you go straight to the...
It's like Demolition Man. What is the meaning of life? It ends. Yeah?
Yeah, fuck, that's a great film, man. I'm going to watch that
It was
again.
Judge Dredd, not Demolition Man. Judge Dredd.
Oh, right, Judge Dredd.
Yeah. Yeah, Demolition Man was a good movie as well.
That's good as well, yeah.
Yeah, I went through a sly kick like years ago, and I was getting like Demolition Man and what was it? Was it The Specialist or something? Was that a no?
Oh, The Specialist, yeah.
Was that a sly movie?
Yeah, Specialist, all of that era, that early 90s. You had Specialist, you had Demolition Man, you had...
Yeah, then you had Seagal doing like Under Siege.
Yeah, man, Under Siege.
Double Impact was an early 90s movie.
Double Impact.
When did True Lies come out? 96?
Around there.
Yeah?
90. I thought it was maybe 95, but...
Yeah, but like mid-90s.
Mid-90s, yeah. Fucking, man, every time I look back at the 90s, it's funny with the 90s, man. The 90s is that thing that just gets better with time when you look back at it. As soon as we came out of the 90s, we were like, what the fuck was the 90s? Now I look back at the 90s and I go, fucking, what an era. What a fucking era, man. The best movies, music, fucking culture, everything. It was off its head.
We spoke about the 90s like on a really, really early episode of this podcast, like first season sort of shit. And I explained it in a way where it was like the 80s was a real experimental era where analog and digital were starting to clash for the first time properly. Yeah, like music production, films were starting to use technology. Music was starting to get produced on digital shit as opposed to analog. You know, CDs and stuff was starting to come in.
Yeah.
And then it's like more and more things were getting fused, you know, like hip hop and R&B and funk and electronic music. And it was becoming like, just chaos. So that's why you had the extremes, the punks and the funks and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So
and you had a very distinct 80s sound as well.
Exactly.
The new wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then when you got to the 90s, it sort of blanded out a bit. You had the grunge sort of shit come in on one end.
Yeah.
And then the pop started becoming really
sugary.
Yeah, sugary Euro sort of housed out. Like really, really glossed. Whereas like people just didn't know where they belonged.
Yeah, yeah.
So then by the time you got to the noughties, the edge was starting to come back and like become vibrant again. Like, does that make sense?
So what was the noughties?
Noughties was like 2000 plus.
Yeah, but what edge are you referring to in the noughties?
Think about it, like the whole hip hop urban started taking over everything. Everything was urban based.
Well, what about the 90s had?
No, the mid 90s started. That's when
man.
it started. The gangster rap and like all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't mainstream.
Oh, it wasn't mainstream.
By 2000, by 2001, Eminem was big. 50 Cent leaked in 2001, 2002, 2003. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the club was 2003.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like 2002, 2003.
So it became more mainstream. It became more commercial.
Exactly.
Right.
But the mid 90s was the start of hip hop and like that whole turn of culture.
Yeah. Well,
Tupac
you
was at his
could
peak.
argue the 80s as well.
Well, yeah. Well, that's when breaking
Run
and
DMC and all that stuff.
yeah, exactly, and breaking and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, when you look at the 90s, what do you think of when you think of the 90s? Think early 90s, not late 90s.
Music wise,
anything social.
I think of hip hop. I think of like Public Enemy and like East Coast rap. I think of grunge. I think of Michael Jackson's Dangerous album. That was the first album I ever bought. I think of
LaBouche, Sweet Dreams was the first album I ever bought.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think of mad movies. You know, cool fucking thrillers and action movies and you know, the blockbuster. You know, Jurassic Park. All those kinds of films. You know, Steven Spielberg, Indiana Jones. Yeah. Terminator.
If I think of the 90s, the first thing I honestly think of is Terminator 2.
Terminator 2, yeah.
That's like my go-to.
Yeah, that's
Not
right.
even Home Alone. That was like 89, 90. Home Alone.
Oh, was it?
I'm pretty sure Home Alone was 90 or
1990 maybe. I'm going to go with 1990. I reckon Terminator 2 was 90.
I think it's 91.
91.
Home Alone is 1990.
And I think Terminator might be 1990 as well.
Okay, hang on. Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 might be 1990.
91.
91.
Hang on. Wait. Yeah, the 5th of September 1991.
The release, okay.
Yeah. But that was a blockbuster.
91 was a big time.
But think of it like that. Like for me, Terminator 2 was like the first big blockbuster.
Huge.
Fuck you in the ass. We're taking every title, every iconic line, every benchmark and landmark of cinema.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
It still holds up as one of the best action movies of all time.
Yeah, I would watch it right now.
Yeah.
Like without, done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I mean, what's the equivalent now? I mean, you look at the Avenger movies, you look at all the shit that just gets recycled. It's all just...
I don't know, man. I'm not a fan. I just haven't been able to get into them. There's just too many. Honestly, I don't care. You know what I mean? And maybe it's my age, maybe it's my generation. Maybe if I was younger, maybe if I was like 20, I'd give a shit. You know what I mean? Or maybe not. I don't know.
What were we watching at 20? As in, not old shit that we'd watch 100 times, but if we went to the movies...
We were watching, man, the 90s. It just, I'm telling you, it's sick.
Okay, hang on.
I think about, man, Goodfellas. Goodfellas was fucking 1990 or 91. Pulp Fiction. Fucking Tarantino. Like...
1990 was Goodfellas. Pulp Fiction was, I think, later. I remember it, 94. So mid-90s.
Mid-90s, man. We grew up on these... On mad, fucking cutting edge, fucking pretty much art house movies, but that were kind of gritty and just I don't know. I was the whole mafia genre was like huge
crime dramas.
Yeah, it was even before Sopranos. Like I remember that being massive. And, like, I remember, like, everyone wanted to, Al Pacino movies, Scarface, and
Heat.
De Niro.
Heat is still one of the best movies of all time.
Heat. Classic.
Val Kilmer, I think, hasn't gotten his due. He's revered as an actor, but not in the way that his contemporaries are.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer's a great fucking actor.
He's fucking fantastic.
His role in Heat and Doc Holliday in Tombstone, untouchable, man.
Yeah, man.
Untouchable.
Yeah. Fuck, he's great.
I don't know. I think that...
He played Jim Morrison, for fuck's sake.
I was just going to say, Jim Morrison's the next role that I think of. I don't think he's going to get his flowers the way he should.
Well, it's kind of sad now what's happened to him as well with his...
Yeah. Did you ever watch a doco they made on him?
I didn't see that.
I just remember seeing the trailer and how his son was narrating it, and he sounds exactly like him.
Really?
You haven't heard it?
I have heard of it. I have heard seen the trailer, but I can't remember.
Hang on. I'll find it.
Can't remember it.
It should be here.
Val. Did you see the Top Gun?
No, I never saw it.
Oh man.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's fucking great, man. I love it.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, 100%. As a film, it's better than the first one.
See, I didn't grow up watching the first one. Like over and over, like to appreciate it.
Okay.
Hang on. We'll watch the first.
But it's it's good. And he's great in it. And he's in it.
Is he?
As Iceman,
My name's Val. I don't do this with every interview I go on. Take you inside my home. I don't. But I'm going to.
My name is Val Kilmer. I'm an actor.
So that's his son talking.
I've lived a magical life. And I've captured quite a bit of it.
Push the button.
I was the first guy I knew to own a video camera.
Here we are, filming ourselves. Is that a video
rolling, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool, Val.
Look at that. They're all like
thousands of hours of videotape and film reels that I've shot throughout my life and career.
Shut the video camera on.
I will keep it on until we're rehearsing.
Oh, damn.
I was recently diagnosed with throat cancer. I'm still recovering.
I haven't seen this.
No.
And it is difficult to talk and to be understood. But I want to tell my story more than ever.
I spent decades finding my voice.
I was a perfectly normal person.
Through characters.
I gave you about 4 takes with some different voices.
Through movies.
That was him.
One of the things they buy for all that money, your life for a period of time.
I have behaved poorly.
More wine, more rum, more women.
I have behaved bravely. Bizarrely to some.
How do you heal a broken heart?
I see myself as a sensitive, intelligent...
How have I not watched this yet?
But with the soul...
It's on Prime. Have you got Prime?
5, 2, 6, the world, I don't want to survive.
That's brutal.
It's just so sad.
It's a story about my life. That is also not my life.
Yeah. Brilliant actor.
That's so harsh to see, man.
It is, yeah. It is. But he's brilliant in... There's a beautiful scene with him and Cruise, actually, the two of them. There's a real touching scene. It's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Top Gun Maverick. It's good.
I saw a meme the other day and it said the hardest thing to believe about this thing is that millennials know the words to Great Balls of Fire. There's a pub scene or something.
Oh, that's right.
Singing that Jerry Lee Lewis song.
He's singing the Jerry... Yeah.
Who would I don't know the lyrics to that song, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, look, the way... Yeah, that was a bit whatever, but...
I don't know the scene. I just saw the meme. I just started laughing.
It's a tribute to the first one, whatever. Look, the film itself is not meant to... It's not fucking believable. Like, there's some unbelievable stuff. You're not meant to go, oh, my God. Like, it's pretty ridiculous. But it's in that style of the old classic Hollywood blockbuster films. They just don't make them like that anymore.
Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, man, they don't make them like that anymore. And I think that because it was so fresh in that way, because we haven't seen a film like that in so long, it did really well. People liked it. They were anything. They were like, you know what? Anything other than the Marvel superhero shit, well, we're gonna take it. We're gonna eat it up. I think that's what's going on. I think people are fucking over it, man. They're over fucking superheroes, bro. I know I am. Fuck, man, come on. The thing is, it never ends.
It never ends.
It never ends. Because there's a whole...
Spider-Man 3004.
And then they reboot it. How many times did they fucking reboot Spider-Man in fucking 20 years or whatever fucking...
In 20 years, they've had 4 Spider-Mans.
Like, not even a succession of the story. A literal reboot.
Yeah, no, take the story back to the start and do it again. Why?
Why are we doing this?
I actually don't know. I thought you'd have some insight in that. You're the actor. I'm serious. Why?
I think it's all about, they're not even thinking about the art. They're not even thinking about the creative aspect of it. They're thinking purely as a business model, and they're going, oh, this has a profit-spanning life of 10 years. Let's reboot the series.
But they're rebooting it before the 10 years.
Or whatever it is.
No, I'm just saying, like...
That's what it is. It's purely for profit.
But it's like with that last Avengers one, right? The Endgame one. The last one, right? The last big Avengers.
Yeah.
They wrapped the story, and they were already talking about rebooting shit. Like, just as they've wrapped. This has been a 20-year process, and you've barely let the dust settle on this fucker, and you're already talking about rebooting it.
I don't know.
Why? There are so many more superheroes to tap into with different story arcs. Like, why do the same shit? Is that just to sell the same merchandise?
Yeah, I mean, that's why, I think that's why Hollywood's like, it's on a downward trajectory, in my opinion.
I think,
I mean, look, we're talking like in terms of the big, stuff that's produced by studios. People can go, you can take half of that and throw it in the bin, and a lot
of that,
maybe like 90% of it. And I think, man, there's been big freaking directors who've even spoken about it.
Who?
Like fucking Tarantino's spoken about it, Scorsese's spoken about it, fucking Ford Coppola's.
What's Scorsese said?
He says it's like an amusement park. He goes, these films, the Marvel films, are like, going to an amusement park, going to Disneyland. It's for kids. It's not serious cinema. And he copped a lot of flack for saying that as well from a lot of actors that have done these films. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, and they're going to defend what they've done. And, you know, of course you would, you know, because it has been a very fulfilling experience. But the point does remain, and that is, what is the validity? What is the artistic cred in these movies? Do they have the question?
Where is the substance?
Do they have any artistic merit?
The difference is that.
What do you think? Do they have any artistic merit?
Okay, look. I'm not saying I don't trust you. I'm not saying I do, but I don't. No, seriously. Look, man, some of the story arcs can be captivating, right?
Yeah.
And if it's done properly, like, I haven't watched that many Marvel movies in the last 10 years. I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw Black Panther, I was like, wow, that was a good movie. Because it was a different...
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Totally different sort of thing, right? And when I watched Endgame, I was like, hey, the combination of 20-odd titles, you know...
Right.
In the making, and it came... And, it was,
It turned out pretty good.
Yeah, it was cool, right? And I think they did a good job wrapping it up. But when they make these other movies that are based purely on agenda, I've had a go at, the Wonder Woman movie.
Okay.
I've critiqued the fuck out of that on this podcast. It was shit.
Okay.
It was shit.
Okay.
Forget suspension of disbelief. It was just shit.
Okay.
Right?
Why?
Because it was just, what's the point? She didn't have enough charisma.
Gal Gadot?
Yeah. She didn't have the natural charisma to actually like the character itself.
Right.
Shit story, shit direction, shit effects, shit fight scenes, and ultimately it's a fucking superhero movie. You want the action to be up there. It wasn't. I was just like, this sucks. This is not entertaining. You know?
Yeah. Did you see the first Wonder Woman, the one that with the chick from the 70s or whatever?
What was her name?
I don't know.
Fuck.
I never saw
Linda something.
Linda something, yeah.
Hang on. What's her name? Wonder Woman, was it the 70s?
I don't know.
Original, hang on.
Point is, I never saw that one either.
Linda Carter, that's it.
Linda Carter.
Yeah.
And did she have the charisma and the acting chops?
The first episode was 1975. Fuck. 50 years.
Now I'm sighing. Shit, man. We need some new ideas. Fuck.
But that's what,
I don't know.
It's like if they redid Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. If they rebooted it. Can you imagine someone playing Bruce Lee? Bruce Lee's character?
Yeah. Look, the thing is with this, right? It's not the fact that these Marvel movies exist. It's the fact that these Hollywood studios are putting all their money into making them. Back in the day, or if you look at Hollywood cinema, let's say in the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people consider that to be, the golden age after that, the golden age was earlier when you had the studio system where you had the stars.
That was
that came up.
Richard Burton.
Yeah.
The loin sand and sandal movies.
Yeah, exactly. So after that, when it broke out of that system,
I'm just thinking of movies Simo would tell me to watch.
Yeah, he's the guy to get on this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to.
No, but that 70s period where you had a lot of independent filmmakers making real edgy kind of, arty films, pretty much, but they were being funded by the studios.
Yeah.
They were getting funding by big studios to make them. And this is the whole thing about how there's a series on it, actually. It's really good. It's called The Offer, and it's about the making of The Godfather.
Oh, yeah.
And Miles Teller, he's the main guy in it.
Yeah.
And it's really good, man. And it shows how they went about getting it. It was hard, obviously. There was a lot of convincing that had to be done. But the point is, that these studios were basically financing these auteur directors. I don't know if that's still the case anymore. I don't know if there's that much emphasis that's put into. There is, but in terms of the ratio of films that are being financed, I don't know what ratio is going to, those more independent style films. I don't know, but yeah. So I think I don't know. I think there's probably too much of the Marvel stuff. I don't know. Others would disagree, but some people love it.
When was the last time you watched Serpico?
Putting me on the spot now.
Serpico, Al Pacino.
Yeah, I know the film. And I have seen it, but it's been many years.
I hadn't seen it. The last time I'd seen it, I was overseas on a plane. Like, I can't remember where I was coming from.
Yeah.
But I rewatched it about 6 months ago.
Mm.
Good movie.
Yeah.
You can see how it's dated.
Yeah.
You can see exactly why it's dated.
Yeah.
But it's like you can see the characters and the actors and the nuances of like their acting.
Yeah. It's a different focus. The film it's about characters. Yeah. But look, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, some people would say that what I'm saying is they would disagree with it. They would say that there's plenty, and there is, man. Like, look at what's his name, Denis Villeneuve. Is it Villeneuve?
Yeah, because he's got the same surname as the Formula One.
Yeah.
That's how I remember him.
Yeah. He just did Dune, so that's a huge Hollywood studio film. So
I didn't watch Dune.
Yeah, and that's pretty out there. I wouldn't say that it's,
but it's like
it's a film that has artistic merit.
Okay, think of it like this,
and it's a big budget movie.
Kevin Smith's first movie, Clerks, was made at night time in an empty convenience store.
Yeah.
That he shot at night when it was shut.
Yeah.
That's why he had the shutters blocked out.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like it was fucking nighttime.
Yeah, right.
So he made a story up as to why they're shut because the keys were jammed.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he used mostly people who couldn't act.
Yeah.
But that became a cult film.
Yeah, it did.
And then he made Mallrats. Then he made, Chasing
I love those
Amy.
films, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're great.
Freaking brilliant. Have you seen the reboots?
What?
Yeah.
They've rebooted it.
They rebooted Jay and Silent Bob's Strike Back, whatever.
Not with different actors.
No, same actors.
Same actors.
Okay. They rebooted the same story with the same actors that have now aged like 20 years since the first time.
They've rebooted it. So they haven't, it's not a different movie. It's a literal reboot.
Something like that.
How does that work?
I asked someone if it was worth watching who's a big Kevin Smith fan. And they were like, yeah, nah, don't waste your time.
Why would Kevin Smith agree to do that?
Because Kevin Smith's an idiot. I don't know. Maybe he needs money. Maybe he's out of ideas. They're doing the last Clerks 3. You heard about that?
Clerks 3? Nah.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe they've already made it.
But it's also the fact that the media has changed. So yes, it used to be all about films, and then in the noughties we saw the kind of the rise of the television series, right? And then that became its own thing. And now you got actors, and now you got people that want to do a series more than they want to do a film.
Yeah, but back in the day, you couldn't catch Hollywood actors doing TV shows. No chance.
No. And so, you're getting, and so that as a medium, as the series, the streaming as a medium has become massive and has really elevated. And there's just so much content now as well, because you've got all these different streaming platforms that have all these bloody shows, and people go, "Oh, have you watched this? Have you watched that on this?" And that, dude, no. I would need like 10 clones of myself watching the different things at the same time for me to catch up with all the shit.
And you know what's amazing? People out there actually do watch everything you just said.
No.
Yeah,
I know.
They actually, they get the work done of 10 clones.
How do they do that?
I don't fucking know.
Are you sleeping? Like you're binge watching an entire series that's like 7 seasons of a show.
Hour-long episodes.
10 episode fucking seasons.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
They get it done in a weekend.
It's nuts.
They start at 8:35 in the morning on Saturday or Friday night, like 6:30, and then finish it Monday morning before they go to work.
You're a junkie.
How much, you know what shits me is how much in that binge watch, how much are you actually digesting?
You can't remember shit.
How many times have you rewatched Pulp Fiction and rediscovered shit that you hadn't realised?
Yes.
I do it all the time. I watch YouTube clips on, here's 20 more things you didn't know about Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, that's right.
Every time you see a great film like that, you see something new. That's the beautiful thing of it.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And like, people say to me all the time, like, why do you keep rewatching these same movies? I go, because I'm discovering new shit every time I watch it.
That's right.
Or I'm appreciating something a bit differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%.
Every time.
100%. Where it feels like you're just consuming without any, without any thought.
No.
You just fucking, I've got to get through it. I've got to churn through all this shit. I can't watch shit like that.
It's like, you know what it's like? It's like trophy hunting on like a PS4 game or something where you're trying to 100% it just to get the trophies that you 100%ed it.
Yeah, right.
It's like, I watched these series. They're all shit. What can you tell me about them? Oh, I don't know.
And exactly, because half the time they're fucking lying in their bed on their phone while the series is playing on their TV.
Yeah.
And they're going, I watched the entire series of, I'm like, come on, man. Who are you kidding here? You're not really watching it. You're not really paying attention and appreciating it. I'm watching a series. I watch one thing at a time. That's it. That's all I can do. I'm sorry.
I don't watch series. Series I don't do because you need to be dedicated to series.
You need to be dedicated.
You watch one episode, you watch 2. And then you don't do it for like a month.
Yeah.
You're back at square one.
You're back at square one. True. And that's why it is a big commitment. It's a bigger commitment to watch a series. But because series are more available in a sense, because it's more convenient, you can just, it's right there.
All right, I've got a question.
Hang on a second, let me finish this.
Okay.
But yeah, hold on to that question. But I'll go off recommendations. That's it. I won't go looking for shit. I'll have a friend or someone close to me that goes, check this show out. It's really cool. I think you'd like it. And so that's it. And so now I'm watching White Lotus. So this is a popular show at the moment. It's in second season. I think it's just finished its second season. But it's good. It's good. It's fun. It's a bit of a mystery kind of.
It's an
interesting. So I just finished the first season. I'm still far behind. I'm not up to. People are already like finished. Second. The finale came out the other day for the second.
What is it?
So it's about a hotel. Or a branch of hotels called the White Lotus Hotels or something. It's about this hotel called the White Lotus, like a retreat, like a Club Med kind of thing. And it's set in Hawaii, and it's about all these different characters that come to this retreat.
Mm-hmm.
This retreat thing. What do you call that? A hotel?
A resort.
A resort. Fucking hell.
Resort. The word resort was so far away.
It was so far away. They go to this resort, and so it's all about these different people, and they're all dysfunctional, right? So it's a bit of and they're really they're dysfunctional characters, and they're kind of quirky, and it's dark, but it's humorous. It's a bit of a black comedy, and so that's what the show's about.
Okay, here's a question.
It was good.
Here's my question.
It is good.
If you could think of a movie, all right, you give me a few, give me one, I don't care, that is constantly in the back of your mind as one from the past that you feel you need to rewatch or never watched initially or watched it as a kid or something, that you feel you need to make time to watch today.
A film that I never watched or watched?
Either way. Maybe you watched it as a kid and you don't remember it or whatever.
Okay.
But it's constantly in the back of your head.
Yeah, good. That's okay.
I've got one and you'll never guess what it is. Never. Never.
Well, actually, now to come to think about it, Demolition Man. I want to watch that again. Yeah, man. Demolition Man, I think I saw it once, and I remember, and I think I only saw it once. I would definitely want to see that.
I watched it properly when I moved into Noble at some point, like 2013, 2014, somewhere there.
Yeah.
That's got the Dennis Leary
Dennis Leary's
monologue in it. Do you remember it? He's plays. Oh, dude.
Are we going to play it?
Yeah, we'll play it. It's actually a good monologue. I'd played this monologue ages ago on the pod as well.
Dennis Leary.
Yeah, hang on. He plays a guy named hang on, Demolition. He's in the sewer. He's in the sewers, living like with the rap people. Demolition Man.
That's when he really popped.
Dennis
around
Leary
that time as well.
Yeah, this is it.
Oh yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
See, according to Cocteau's plan, I'm the enemy because I like to think. I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy like to sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steak or the jumbo rack of barbecue ribs with the side order gravy fries? I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay? I want to smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in the non-smoking section. I want to run through the streets naked with green jello all over my body reading Playboy magazine. Why? Because I suddenly might feel the need to, okay, pal? I've seen the future. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas drinking a banana broccoli shake singing, I'm an Oscar Mayer wing.
Yes. Classic.
He goes on a full rant. It's actually, it's a good scene.
Oh man, I have to admit, I am a big Dennis Leary fan.
I think Dennis Leary has dropped the ball recently. He's come out as, what's the word? Like, he doesn't want to be left, so he goes far right, almost far right.
Is he?
Not far right in the sense of far right, like politically, but more like to avoid being woke, he's gone.
But he's always been like that. He's always been, non-PC and all that shit.
But cringe level non-PC. I'm not PC, man. I'm liberal, but I'm not like.
Like, give me an example.
I don't know. Yeah, I just remember watching a few things, like an interview or something of him not long ago, and I'm just like, really, you too? I was like, all right. Like I sort of.
I know he's not well respected in the comedian circles.
Why?
Because he's considered a joke thief.
Was he part of that?
Well, he I know Dane allegedly, and if you do look at the material, if you go back and you do look at the material, it's pretty sus.
Who did he rip off?
Bill Hicks.
Ah, yeah, that's the first person I think of. Yeah.
Bill Hicks. So there's some Bill Hicks, bits that are literally like
verbatim,
pretty much, yeah. Like the No Cure for Cancer album, a lot of that material is, and this is coming from a Dennis Leary fan, man. I got into Dennis Leary before I even knew about Bill Hicks. So for me, I was like, who is this guy? But yeah, man, like you look at the Bill Hicks stuff and you go, whoa.
See, I prefer Dennis Leary's movies to his comedy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I hear what you like. You mean his stand-up comedy?
Yeah,
yeah. He's written some. He wrote a show that I was a big fan of in the noughties called Rescue Me, about firefighters in New York.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, good show. That was a fun show.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
think he's a good writer. I think he's a good writer. He's very talented in his own right. But yeah, that's really. It's a stain on his career. The fact that he ripped off Bill Hicks. Because Bill Hicks is a fucking genius, man. You look at some of his shit.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing, man. Bill Hicks
he's always brought up, like with Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah. He's one of the goats. He's one of the greats.
You think Bill Hicks?
One of the great American comedians, in my opinion.
Who would you put there as far as goats?
Like top 5?
Sure.
Richard Pryor. Everyone says that.
Well, no. Hang on, wait. I didn't ask for what everyone says.
No, but for me,
what does the inner boy in you say?
The inner boy. The inner boy. See, this is the thing. I would say if you're asking the kid in me that was like that loved these comedians and still does.
Okay, hang on. Who would you say are your favorite comedians? Is that a better thing?
My favorite comedians. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. All right, Eddie Murphy.
Are we talking stand up now? Straight stand up?
Ah,
What are you doing, you bastard?
What are you doing for funny, you bastard? Eddie, Louis C.K.
I saw him recently.
Did you go to the thing? I went as well.
Did you?
Yeah. At the Palais.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I kept spilling my mate's beer.
Yeah. Oh, he was good. He was great.
I think it was. I don't think it was his best.
No, it's not his
There was
best.
stuff that he'd done before as well.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. It was still funny.
It was still good, yeah.
But I think it was just going all out on the shock sort of value, to make a point of like, I'm back.
I'm back, yeah.
Yeah.
Who else? Chappelle, I think. I'd put him in there.
That's three.
That's three. Would I put...
Choose carefully.
Look, this is stand-ups now we're talking.
Yeah?
Yeah. Burr.
Okay.
What's that for? We need one more. Fuck. Who do I put in there?
Do you take the blue pill or the red pill?
Who do I put in there? I'm missing. I'm surely missing.
I can think of...
Give me some names.
No, I'm not giving you names. Because you're going to be like, yeah, well, what about him? No.
Fuck, stand-up comics. What, Seinfeld?
Seinfeld.
I'm a fan of the show.
Hang on.
Him as a stand-up.
Hang on. As a stand-up, he's a stand-up purist.
What does that mean?
It means in the craft of comedy, he's a purist with his stand-up. It's meticulously written.
Yes.
He doesn't just riff.
Right.
Doesn't curse.
Yeah.
Doesn't fall back on cursing and shit to get a gag.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the best way I can describe it. The fact that it's meticulously written and rehearsed, where there's only one way to say it.
Yeah.
And it's very, very mundane topics, but he finds the humor in the mundane sort of thing.
No.
He doesn't rely on like
shock
characters or shock or gags.
Yeah.
He'll take a pen.
Yeah.
He'll take the inane act of buying a bag of groceries.
Yeah, I know. It's his whole shtick. Yeah. And it's you got to appreciate him for that. But my favorite, I'm a massive fan of the show. That's one of my favorite shows. But when I compare him to my favorite comedians, where I'm just literally belly laughing and crying, I've rattled them off. I think I probably just need one more. There's some good UK comics.
I've given you 5. As in, I've allowed you 5.
Fuck.
There are so many.
There's heaps. I know there's heaps. I can't think of anything. Damn it. Oh my God. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Damn it. Okay, I don't know. I can't think of anyone. Okay, go.
You look so lost right now, man.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Okay.
Anyway, go.
I'll give you Richard Pryor, right?
I said Richard Pryor.
No. This is my list.
Okay.
Richard Pryor's there. George Carlin's number 2.
Carlin, of course.
And if Carlin could probably be number 1 on top of Pryor.
Of course,
But they're both there.
Yeah.
Bill Burr up until 2015.
Okay.
No later than that.
Okay.
His shit now is more or less the same, going anti-woke and look this way. These first 3 specials, I memorized. Yeah? I ran them into the fucking ground. I watched them over and over again. His last 2 specials, I switched off after like 10, 15 minutes.
Really?
So I'm just like, I can't get through this.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed his last 2 specials.
Nah. Like when I see even just snippets online, I'm just like, I can't be bothered. Like this is just played now. Like he's regurgitating the same shit. Whereas his first 3 were he might have been hitting on topics that were similar because he'd progressed in those story arcs, but he always had new shit.
Okay. Well, you don't think he's got new shit in his new special? He's talking about shit.
Talking about the same shit that he's spoken for the last 3 specials.
Like what?
I don't know. It just feels like it's the whole woke feminist anti-WNBA sort of same shit.
But he's always shitted on.
Yeah, but it's played now where it's like you can't keep doing the same thing I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just didn't give it enough time. I don't know.
Okay.
Bill Burr, dude, his first 3 specials are untouchable.
Right.
Like the one where he does his whole gold digging whores bit.
Yeah.
That one is just next level. Like you will laugh the entire time.
Okay.
All right. So Burr, Carlin, Pryor. You know, there's Robin Williams.
Robin Williams
as a stand-up.
I saw him as a stand-up live.
Did you?
Yeah, when he came here.
No shit.
At Rod Laver Arena.
What was it like?
It's fucking hilarious. He's number 5 for me. I'm putting him in there. Robin Williams.
I could have put anyone there. Like,
yeah, fucking oath. He was fucking sick. He's a fucking funny. He's the funniest. Oh man, what a fucking legend. I was so saddened by that by his death.
Yeah,
that hit me.
Yeah, that hit me as well.
That hit me.
What did I watch? I'm trying to remember what the first movie was that I watched after he died. What the fuck was it? I'm pretty sure I watched it when I was flying to Turkey. I went away like in the week that he'd passed away.
Yeah.
And I watched it on the plane. I just don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't Mrs. Doubtfire.
Man.
Fuck. What was it? I've got no idea. Anyway, Chappelle, as a purist, like comedian, he'd probably be there. But then you got Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Yeah, look, it's not taken away from their craftsmanship for sure. Are they my personal favourites though? I don't know.
I think when it comes to social commentary, Chris Rock nails it.
Same with George Carlin.
On the level with George Carlin, Chris Rock does. He's got his own outlandish sort of style.
Yeah.
And his delivery is different.
Yeah.
But as far as social commentary goes, he hits it on the head, man.
Yeah.
I don't rate like Kevin Hart as a comedian.
Yeah. I can see the funny, but I know what you mean. There's some people that don't like him, and I understand.
I can see the funny.
All right, let me ask you a question. Do you like Cat Williams?
Cat Williams is a pimp, man.
Because the people that like Cat Williams usually don't like Kevin Hart, and vice versa. That's what I've noticed.
Cat Williams is a gun.
He's a gun.
He's a gun.
He's a gun.
They asked him on an interview once, do you think you're the best comedian, the greatest comedian or whatever? He's like, well, I do say this, sir. Dave Chappelle still lives and breathes.
Yeah. He's a fucking smart dude, man.
Yeah, he's smart.
Super smart dude.
I think he's more intelligent than most people give him credit for.
And he doesn't give a fuck either. He'll tell cunts to go fuck himself.
But that's what I mean. Like he's on that level of I don't give a shit.
He won't sell out.
No.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he's not as big as, say, Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart did the 60 movies that he plays the exact same character every single time.
Yeah.
You know? Do you and I rate it as a really good special and falls into your category of hated within the comedy community?
What?
Dane Cook.
Oh, Dane Cook, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
His Ring doco
yeah.
is incredible.
Yeah.
His Ring special is incredible.
I've got to go back and watch some of his shit.
2013, I used to watch his shit like relentlessly.
Yeah.
And then, I just haven't caught up with it.
Yeah.
What about Dice?
Oh, fuck Dice.
See what I mean? Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Dangerfield,
yeah.
Norm Macdonald.
Yep.
Norm Macdonald, man.
As stand-ups.
Stand-ups is the best.
As stand-ups.
Norm
but
Macdonald.
there's other comedians too, like fucking Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien's a brilliant comedian.
That's fucking a genius.
Yeah.
Who wrote some of the classic Simpsons episodes.
He's just genius, period.
Single-handedly.
Yeah.
Like, he is one of the funniest dudes. There's so many fucking funny, and then just comedic actors too. Like, I like Will Ferrell.
Dude, Jim Carrey's a stand-up.
Oh, fucking Jim Carrey. Oh, man. I mean, you're talking... I can't believe I didn't mention...
Yeah, but you didn't mention him.
I didn't mention him as a stand-up. I mentioned him as a comedic actor, and I'll mention him as one of the great comedians.
Rob Schneider is a reasonably comedic actor.
But yeah, he was a stand-up for sure. Yeah, fucking Carey, man.
But see, like,
grew up on that shit.
Kevin Pollak is like a brilliant impressionist.
Exactly.
Yeah? Have you seen his stand-ups?
Not that good.
his stand-ups is like whatever it is, but it's because they're based on impressions. His impressions are fucking awesome.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Peter Falk is like incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, there's a lot.
But see, now we've got...
It's funny that we're mentioning all these American... It just shows you how much American culture has been such a massive influence.
Because they put the money into it and then started, like, feeding it out.
Yeah.
You know? Who would you... I mean, if you had to name an Aussie comedian, who would you name?
Rodney Rude? Or fucking...
Rodney Rude got cancelled the fuck out.
Yeah, he did.
He was playing at the Sandown 2 years ago.
Was he? Rodney Rude.
Rodney fucking Ray.
Yeah, Aussie comedians. I don't know.
You've got what's his name?
Carl Barron.
Carl Barron.
I don't mind Carl Barron. I don't mind him. I think he's good.
Yeah, Carl Barron's alright.
He's kind of like our version of Jerry Seinfeld.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, like observational humour and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
There's what's his name that went over to America. He's massive there now. He's got
Jim
a TV
Jeffries.
show. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. His first one, the bit about guns, I think is really funny. Yeah.
But see, that's what I mean. You're remembering his first big special.
Yeah, but he sold out as well.
I don't know. What does he do now?
When he started doing that show, for Comedy Central, the political show.
Is it still going?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
But see, this is the thing. Now you got every idiot and their dog blowing up on social media as fucking comedians doing the same played bits every 2 minutes.
Yeah, social media has really changed things a lot. When you think about, especially with comics too, when you think about comics who have come and launched out from social media, like current comics like Andrew Schultz, where he's massive now. And he came from podcasts and from social media.
Do you reckon Andrew Schultz...
Or from YouTube. He started putting his bits on YouTube.
Do you reckon he's going to be bigger, as big as a icon as any of the other heads?
I don't know, because it's the landscape's changed so much in terms of how we consume media now, where you'll have cunts on, with completely different, because it's all algorithms now. So your shit that I check on your phone is going to be completely different to my shit, and completely different to fucking Joe Blow's shit. So it's hard to say. It's hard to tell. It's hard to gauge that.
You know what, man? Like, say with Andrew Schultz, right? If you give me 10 spots of his, 10 bits randomly, right?
I can give you, not 10. I think he's still too young to...
Okay, give me 5, right? I'm not saying for you to give them to me. I'm just saying, if you gave me 5 Schultz bits, I'll probably laugh at 3 out of the 5, right?
Yeah.
Laugh. Probably not memorable enough for me to want to go back and watch it again.
Okay.
But I'll get a laugh out of it.
Okay.
The other 2, I probably wouldn't laugh. I'd just be like, nah, okay, I see what he's saying. Like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
The problem is with social media is we now have a window into their personality on tap.
Yes.
And they're releasing more and more shit.
Yes.
Every day. So to stay relevant.
Yes.
To keep their names in the algorithm, they just release more. George Carlin, I couldn't tell you what he was thinking half the time.
100%.
Because I had his specials to go by.
Yes.
And a random interview that he would do every now and then. They didn't saturate the market with their personality.
Absolutely.
They just let the material do its thing.
And now that's why there's this oversaturation that's happened, and it's endless, because you can just put it out there and it doesn't matter how much you put out there. Whereas before, shit was controlled. Like for example, you had an artist, let's say, like artists who were signed to a music label, let's say, and they had to release albums.
Yeah, 3-album deal.
3-album deal.
And a double CD and a live album.
Yeah.
And the best of 6 CDs.
Right. Whereas now, it's keep churning shit out. Keep things on a leak, because we want the algorithm. The algorithm's changed everything.
Yeah, we need you at the top of relevance 24/7.
Yeah.
So every 3 hours, something's going to get leaked, something's going to get released.
It's changed everything.
Whether it's a statement, whether it's a single, whether it's a demo, whether it's a photo, whatever the fuck it is.
Yep.
Every 3 hours or whatever the thing is.
Yes.
And that's my problem.
Yeah, it is a problem.
Like, what was that Greek dude that you got me onto?
Greek dude.
Stavy something?
Oh, he's good. He's a good new new one. Stavros Halkias.
I watched a bunch of clips when you said to me, check this guy out.
He's good.
And
man.
I watched it. I said, yeah, this guy's funny.
Yeah.
I followed him on social media.
Yeah.
I watched a few more short clips, cool, whatever. And they'd come up every now and then. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. I tried watching a special of his.
Yeah.
And I got like 20, 30 minutes in, and then I got distracted because I had other shit to do. So I just I can't. I think I was trying to focus on work and I couldn't do it with him in the background. So I just put some music on or whatever. The other day, like a week ago, something popped up on the algorithm, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watching it, I'm like, that's not funny. What a wanker. And then I'm like, is it just me? I actually said to myself, it's just me? So I went into his comments and everyone's chewing him out for it, like for that post.
Oh, really?
Saying, yeah, it was good while it lasted. This cunt's fucked.
Oh.
Like he'd gone back on something he'd said. He said, like, I'd never be on a podcast or something, like ever. And then he started his own. Like, he'd left the one that he was on and then he started his own. So I was like, well, you're a fucking idiot, aren't you?
Okay.
And then what he was saying just wasn't funny. It was cringe, but he thought it was hilarious. So he was laughing to himself, which I haven't got a problem with because I say shit all the time on these idiot podcasts that I do and I laugh to death.
This is the other thing too, man. Go ahead, sorry.
And I unfollowed.
You unfollowed him?
I'm like, nah, fuck this cunt.
This is the thing too. I mean, there's so much to unpack with this, with social media and the way that it's changed everything. The fact that people can chime in, any motherfucker can just chime in and give their 2 cents, which is worth less than 2 cents. And it's that anyone can do what we're doing right now. Anyone can do a podcast. Sure. Okay, cool. Everyone should have the right to be a platform. Everyone should have a right to create something. Sure. But it doesn't mean that everything's going to be good. It means there's going to be a lot more shit that you're going to have to sift through to get to the good shit.
Which shits me when people create a platform for themselves to put something out, even if it's terrible, but people get behind it for whatever bullshit agenda reason they have. Whether it's the person's like an asexual fucking hermaphrodite, or whether someone is like a reality show dropout, or whatever the bullshit is. Oh, new podcast, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, great. And then it'll get 50,000 fucking followers within the first 48 hours. And they're churning absolute rubbish out.
Yeah, it's crap.
And all of a sudden it's like, let's celebrate this bullshit material.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is that everyone now, because everything's available to everybody, you'll throw something out there, no matter how shit it is, whether it has any value whatsoever, even if it has one kernel of value in it, it will find
picturing a shit kernel.
Yeah, a turd, one little fucking pebble shit of value, and it will find an audience because you've got the whole fucking world as your audience. Someone will find your podcast and go, fuck, I don't mind listening to this cunt. Fucking yes. And you know what? Good luck to him. That's what I say. But it just means there's more shit to sift through to find the stuff.
Yeah, but do you know what shits me?
But then you've got the algorithms to do that for you.
This is what shits me with the algorithm, though. There's quality content out there getting pushed to the bottom because all you need, and this is fact, man, all you need to push to the top of the algorithm is be a confident woman.